biggest dinosaur. Sharp teeth, supreme ferocity, and monumental bodies? There's no doubt we're talking about dinosaurs. Do you know which was the biggest dinosaur ever?
I have an answer. It's the Argentinosaurus.
During decades, a lot of people speculated that it was the Argentinosaurus,
And it's still true to this day.
who held the title. However, its kingdom has come to an end because there has been discovered a dinosaur with measures never seen before. Join us in this discovery.
Okay, so this is an outdated video from around 5 years ago. It's not going to be up to date.
Giants between giants. It's said that being a big dinosaur was a great compliment. Let's remember that during the times these creatures walked the earth, creatures such as Tyrannosaurus were a big threat.
It's the largest terrestrial carnivore. Also, please stop with the pronated risks.
Despite of this, there was a species that surpassed each size of dinosaur. This one was called the Patagotitan majorum. Its name is enough to tell us that this was a colossal creature. Casual encounters. This gigantic specimen was found in the Patagonia in 2008.
Really? The earliest discovery of Patagotitan was a part of a lower femur in 2010.
By a rural farmer while he was riding his horse. He found a huge femur on his land, but it wasn't until 6 years later, in 2014, when he started the excavation of the giant's fossils to examine them. He surprised a lot of people when he showed the huge dimensions of what would later be the biggest dinosaur to date.
Well, probably was, but obviously not today.
How big were they? When it comes to the size, after analyzing the fossils of this magnificent creature, it was determined that this animal would have an extension of 131 feet
121 feet in terms of 2017.
from its head to the end of its tail. However, this wouldn't be all, because thanks to modern technology, it's estimated that this dinosaur's weight would be around 70 tons.
Okay, so dinosaur size determined by mass, it is possible the Argentinosaurus was still the largest in 2017.
Which compares to the weight of 14 African elephants. These characteristics gave it the title, by a lot, of the biggest terrestrial creature that has ever existed, even 10% bigger than past title holder, the Argentinosaurus. A millennial creature. According to the age of the fossils, it was determined that this species lived approximately 100 million years ago, which means it lived in the last period of the Jurassic era, also known as the Cretaceous period.
What did I just hear? Did I just hear Jurassic era? That the Cretaceous was the last Jurassic era. What on earth is this statement supposed to be? Out of all statements from this guy, this is among the worst.
This was the time where dinosaurs peaked in diversity of species. Just to give an example, this animal lived at the same time as the Tyrannosaurus rex.
Are you actually kidding me? What am I even looking at? Nah, for real though, both of these statements are super dumb.
And despite of this, the encounter of this species never happened because they were located in different and far geographic areas.
And also different periods of the Cretaceous. The Patagotitan lived around 101.62 million years ago, which is around, like, I don't know, 32 to 34 million years, around 32 to 34 million years away from the T-Rex.
Who wouldn't like to think at a fight between the biggest versus the most famous dinosaur?
That would be a clear victory for even a smaller 2023 Patagotitan. There's no way for a T-Rex to win against something like a Patagotitan.
Big from any perspective. Physically, this sauropod was characterized by being a quadruped with a really long tail, same as its neck, that reached up to 39.4 feet in height.
Okay, so normally 39.4 feet, 39.4 feet in length, and there could have been fewer mistakes even, probably even none. I'm not too sure about the 2017 Patagotitan estimate. But this guy just said 39.4 feet in height. Are you serious?
On the other hand, it had a really small head in comparison to its body. Even if its sizes could make any other creature feel threatened, This was an herbivore dinosaur that probably had a really quiet nature.
Unless if some random predator decides to provoke this thing, which, you know, if herbivores get provoked, they can be incredibly dangerous. I said it 1 gazillion times already. I don't need to say it like one more bajillion times. Bajillion, gazillion, gajillion, brillion times.
Because there wouldn't be a creature brave enough to fight it. However, it was able to push back any threat with its huge tail that was used as a whip.
Or it could just simply use its own body, you know, its legs, to crush anyone under its own weight.
Giant Zone. Even though its fossils were buried for millions of years, they are in a perfect preservation state, which helps further investigations about the kind of animals that inhabit that zone in the Patagonia. Because in this specific area, there has been found other gigantic species that could indicate that there were other huge dinosaurs living in this environment where there was plenty of vegetation, which meant a lot of food for these colossal creatures.
Which is, in fact, correct. But let me nitpick something here. You're not showing a Patagotitan, although, to be fair, dinosaur documentaries, I don't think any dinosaur documentary showed a Patagotitan yet. Maybe like 1 or 2, but even then I just forgot. Sorry.
These studies indicate that these lands are one of the most important places on Earth for paleontology. An accompanied titan. When it comes to its behavior, this species, as the majority of herbivores, was a really quiet and sociable creature.
Well, in fact, the majority of the herbivores are, they're quiet. Initially, they're quiet, but if you provoke them, they're a whole different animal altogether.
Because it normally lived and reproduced in herds. This was discovered because of the great quantity of different bones found. This means that this was a very united species. At the same time, they were really careful with their eggs, because they could have had up to 40 eggs in the same nest. However, this wasn't surprising, since the mothers usually used leaves from trees to maintain a warm incubation.
And also, there's so many eggs because the baby sauropods are incredibly small and vulnerable. Only a few can survive and grow large.
On the other hand, the babies were born with the almost immediate ability to walk after going out of the egg. This capacity is the same as the ostrich's babies. It was probably that they united in groups to defend themselves from predators. This wasn't a great danger, since these dinosaurs grew up really fast at the beginning of their lives. It's also worth mentioning that they lived about 50 years, enough time to reach a huge size.
Okay, so from what I'm getting, aside from whatever the hell these two statements were, like Jurassic era and that same period as Tyrannosaurus Rex thing, I think this is passable. Obviously, this has a lot of flaws, but it's okay. Like, Trend Max, if I were to put Trend Max against Brightside, Trend Max would definitely be the more superior one.
A mystery death. When the first Patagotitan was found, there were also 7 more of its kind in the same place, which makes us wonder about their death because it's hardly possible that this was caused by predators. But the most consistent theory says that these were affected by great floods caused by the nearby rivers. Because of the little time it has passed since the discovery of this creature, we still don't have enough information about their lifestyle. Because of this species could be appreciated in the American Museum of Natural History in New York, where you can find an exact replica made of 220 plaster bones.
I'd rather call this a reconstructed skeleton.
If this colossal creature surprised you, give us the thumbs up.
Seems like this is the end of the video. Alright then. Alright. This is another Trend Max video. But of course, with some added super dumb statements. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one.